Good afternoon, everyone. I'm joining you from Jakarta, Indonesia. Ken, do we begin?
Yes, Mark.
Okay. What I'm going to share with you is the narrative of numbers or our journey here in Indonesia on how we presented the figures to our stakeholders. I represent the Philippine Business Club Indonesia as the Secretary General. It's an organization that has working partnership with the Philippine Chamber in the Philippines and the Makati Business Club, including the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce. So, in this journey, um, I'm going to walk you through the process of how we arrived at explaining the numbers to our stakeholders. So the first step was identifying our purpose of how we wanted to present the numbers and our mission. So the second part was how we decided to choose that narrative. And then the third part are some of the case studies that I would like to share with you. And maybe you can pick up some pointers along the way, including using the social media in amplifying your message and the lessons learned. So, as a premise, regardless of the content of your message, whether it's financial, technical, scientific, we believe that the fundamental elements of communications will never change. It's still how your audience will understand your message. It's still your responsibility to simplify everything in a context that your audience or stakeholders can identify and understand. So when we set out on that for purpose, it became easier for us to translate the financial communications in the sense that we never tweak the numbers to fit the strategy. So we presented the numbers to show the impact of their involvement, their engagement, including their investment. So having identified that, we moved on to showing to our stakeholders how we wanted to inform them, engage them, and improve upon along the way the current processes that we have. Because by then, it became more collaborative rather than uh, full of debates. So we became all focused on the end goal that we wanted to achieve. And that's how we were able to present the numbers every time it came up as we needed it. As you know, numbers are very important to both the stakeholders, investors, and your audience. So an example of what we went through was during the Marawi incident. You know, so many organizations raise funds for what happened in Marawi. There are better organizations, much equipped and much older than our organization. But what we chose to present was not the number that we wanted to achieve, but rather whatever number would be there in relation to the real impact of what Marawi is to the Philippines and to your average Filipino. So what we did was we invited an expert to talk about the historical importance of Marawi to the Philippines. So we believe that the numbers that we're going to ask for requires quality and full understanding from the audience or stakeholders that we wanted to ask money from. So we started this event in a community where some reluctant people told us it's something that has never been done before. So aside from facing that environment that we had, we still wanted to push through with the purpose. So we began with the narrative of what the event was all about and how it impacts people. So through that, we were able to raise in 4 days a little over $10,000, and we sent every part of that money directly to the the people affected by it. So we sent it to schools and to children that were impacted by the Marawi incident. But we did not stop there. What we did was we added quality again to the mission that we have, and we engaged the Philippine Embassy by asking a famous national painter that we have, who was Manuel Belbemor, who decided to fly to Jakarta and auction off one of his premium works. So again, they were saying that we couldn't charge for the plate of that dinner. Well, we ended up charging people for $100 per plate. And we were able to raise over $15,000 that evening, plus the feeling of camaraderie in a community that was fragmented before for the longest time. We didn't aspire to be an umbrella organization here. There are so many organizations in any community in the world. But what we wanted to do was show that path that all of us together can contribute to our country or to these affected people through the numbers that we needed. So we focused on, again, informing them of the impact, engaging them, and improving upon what we can along the way. So that's why by the time the second tragedy in the Philippines happened, which was the Mindanao earthquake, we again presented the same formula of showing the impact of that situation to our stakeholders or community, including other people that got to hear about this tragedy. And in 72 hours, we were able to raise over $20,000, which we sent right away again to Mindanao directly to the people. And they came back to us with a video of testimonials of their gratitude. But again, it's how we formulated these numbers that we wanted to reach a certain threshold, and that it did not matter how much they could give, but that we should give. So that became now our track record of doing two major fundraising that have never been done before. So when another tragedy happened in the Philippines, which was Cagayan, some people were already cynical and concerned of the donor fatigue. But again, the only thing we can do was really present to them the numbers. How many people have been affected? How many people have been displaced? How much money was lost in this area? And how much they would need to recover from it. So we presented that. We never quicked it. We never said that with this amount of money, this is what we're going to do under our name. We never did that. But because of the track record that we've now achieved, including all the other activities that we've had here outside of these fundraising, an Indonesian billionaire donated right away. And again, in less than 72 hours, over 10,000, oh, no, over $10,000 in 72 hours. And in the span of a week that we raised that money, it doubled, and we were able to send about $21,000. So that goes to show the impact that we've had in presenting the numbers as they were. And by the time COVID happened, everybody was already looking to us what we could do, how we could help Filipinos that have contracted the virus in the country. So again, we told them there's no set amount of money that we need, but there's a lot of items that we needed to provide. So we wanted to give lunch and dinner every single day, not just to the individual who contracted the virus, but including the family. You know, in our culture, nobody gets sick alone. It always affects the entire family. So if one of them got sick, we were sending food, lunches and dinners every single day to the person, the wife, the child, the children. So we did that for almost a year. So when we were doing this, we were able to raise $10,000 and another commitment of $10,000 just for the community. So this money did not come from some rich people that we have access to, but this Money came from your average Filipino expatriate who contributed money wholeheartedly despite the tightening of the belts that they were also exercising due to the contagion. So that's how we've just presented it. And in relation to business opportunities, trade and investment, this is also how we present it to potential investors in choosing either Indonesia or the Philippines as an investment destination. For instance, as an example here that I would like to share is the chicken. You know, Filipinos love fried chicken. But when you look at the global scale of consumption, even in Asia alone, you'll notice that we're not even in the top 20 or top 10, 15 list of major consumers of chicken in the world. So showing them that Indonesia, where we are, you're talking about 175 million people of consumers, and it's a perfect platform for our Jollibee to enter Indonesia, where their model has always been where there's a large concentration of the use. But with this one, they can target the general population. So what we did was we arranged that meeting of at least 5 billionaires to explore this opportunity. So these are some of the things that we learned uh, and that we would like to share with you. An interesting point here that I would like to quickly uh, share here is this wonderful success story of an IVF clinic. At that time in Indonesia, it wasn't known for IVF. But this group decided to enter IVF at the time that there was a very low reputation and success rate of IVF in the Philippines. But how we tweaked the numbers to the stakeholders and conservative board was really very simple. In a city, well, I'm not going to talk about the country. I'm just going to talk about Metro Jakarta. In a city of 33 million, we decided to focus on the most conservative ratio of 10%. We said, what if 10% of the 33 million people were married? So that's about 3.3 million people. And we said that out of the 3.3 million people that are married, only 10% could afford an IVF. So that's still 330,000 people, right? Now, that's how we wanted to focus on coming up with an MVP to get into the market. So with 330,000 people as an opportunity, conservative opportunity to target, we're looking at which clinic can handle 330,000 customers. So with that opportunity in vision without doing any hardcore research, they started to go into the market, they built it up, and now they're dictating the success rate of the country's IVF. So this is what I mean by how important is the numbers to the narrative. So moving forward, amplifying your message. You know, Indonesia and the Philippines are one of the largest population in social media right now. Everybody has it. Decision makers are in it. So it used to be a platform for brand recognition, but now it's really where people consume information. So that's how I looking at now. Okay, so can you see this? Anyway, we're I think wrapping it up. The Philippine Indonesia also started. Yeah, we started the first Philippine Indonesia Economic Summit that was attended by three cabinet secretaries from the Philippines and three ministers from Indonesia. So it was a good opportunity to start that dialogue. Imagine our relationship with them has been over 75 years, but this was the first time that we've had the economic summit. And I'm happy to report that as of 2022, Indonesia's FDI to the Philippines has increased by 200%. When you say FDI, these foreign direct investment are is money that's already in the country. So these are part of the narrative that we've had in successfully conveying the numbers both of the Philippines and Indonesia to the stakeholders we have. And this has been a cross-organizational cooperation between Philippine Business Club, Jump Digital, UP Alumni Association, and the Pinoy community in Indonesia that has about 1,200 members actively participating in it. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. My name is Mark Castro, and I would just like to tell you that no matter the topic, no matter the subject, no matter the element, we never stop telling a story. From the clothes we wear, the food we share in Instagram, to everything, we share a story. So some of us are aware, some of us are not, but I think whatever it is, it's a message we convey. That's it. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.